Okay, everyone, I'm going to show you how to navigate images in Photoshop. Now, you're probably going, navigate images? What the heck is that? Well, when we're zooming in and out of an image, you're using the zoom tool, we're zooming in, we're zooming out, we're selecting the hand tool, moving around. Well, this is basically navigating an image. And I'm going to show you some helpful tips to save you a lot of time, okay? So let's say, for instance, that you're zoomed into this image here. You're touching up some eyes, you're touching up the lips and all that, and you're really close, okay? But let's say you wanted to move to another area on the image, and you wanted to do it very quickly, okay? Well, you would have to select the hand tool and scroll down like this. Let's say if I wanted to go down to her wrist and touch up down there, or if I wanted to come over here, we would have to use the hand tool or use the scroll bars, okay? Well, you know what? We have a better way. I have another way to show you how to do this, and it'll save you a lot of time, okay? Come right over here and up here on window and make sure the navigator palette is checked right there. And when you have it on the screen, just bring it over here, and you can actually enlarge it by coming down here to the bottom right. And look at this very closely. Look in the navigator palette, look in the little image here, and you can see this blue, almost looks like a blue triangle or blue square. Well, anything that's inside of this blue outline here is what we see over here. So if I move this, it's going to move this image as well. So if I'm working on her face up here and I want to quickly move down to her wrist, I can just go bam, and I'm there. You see how fast that was? Or if I wanted to go over here to the elbow, I can do it that fast. And that's what the navigator palette is so cool for, is that instead of coming over here and scrolling around trying to locate the area, we actually have a full size preview here in the navigator palette with our little view box. So I can move the view box anywhere I want. And the navigator palette will go as big as you want. Okay, so you can work on the image over here while having a full preview over here and having the view box to move around. We also have full control of, we have some palette options here. We can actually change the color of the view box. So if you're working on an image, if it has a lot of blue, well, you're not going to be able to see the view box very well. So you might want to change that to red. And just click OK, and now the box is red instead. So check that out and use that, because I use it a lot and it really saves me a lot of time. So that's a pretty cool little tip there. Let me show you something else here that's really neat. Let's say that you're working on an image, you're close up to the image, and you want to actually apply a filter to the image. So you come up here to filter, down here to, let's say, blur, and you come over here to Gaussian blur. And you apply the Gaussian blur, you've turned on the preview, and we've got a little preview box here, okay, which is kind of cool, right? Well, how would you like this to be the preview box instead, which we see over here? I can show you how to do that. We can do the exact same thing we do in this preview box over here. All you have to do is hold down the space bar on the keyboard. Bam, and it turns right into a hand tool. So now we can actually move around while we have the Gaussian blur filter open. Isn't that cool? So no longer we're no longer restricted to just the size of the preview window in the Gaussian blur filter dialog. We can actually use the entire image by holding down the space bar and browsing around like that. Check that out, isn't that cool? Let me show you another technique. I'm going to actually just go in here, and let's say we're going to apply another filter. Let's say we're going to apply, or actually, let's say that I'm zoomed out a little bit, and I want to apply a noise filter. I'm going to come up here to filter, down here to noise, and just add a little bit of noise to the image, right? Well, we have the preview box over here again, but we see we have to get a little closer to see the noise. Well, you know what? The hand tool is not going to do that for us. We need to get closer to this preview over here, not this one. So here's a tip. Hold down the command key on the keyboard. It turns into a zoom tool. And check that out. So we can actually zoom in with a tool while the add noise filter is open. And if you want to zoom out, hold down the option key, which is the alt key on the PC. And it'll turn into a negative zoom tool, or a negative tool, so that way it'll zoom out instead of zoom in. And if you want it to zoom in, you hold down the command key, which is the control key on the PC, and that'll turn into the plus symbol, so you can zoom into the image and just to get a nice preview. So there you go. Those are some cool tips.